All right, I think it's about time to go ahead and begin. So first off, I'd like to thank everybody for attending today. Our topic is the future of MSP telco services. And it's an area we know is a growth area for many of you. You're expanding your offerings into telco, you're doing a lot of other things, but to optimize this opportunity, you're really going to need an integrated solution for your managed IT and for your voice. And the complementary team you're going to hear from today are going to help you understand how you can better manage your total offering. The goal here is to make it all better, faster, cheaper, and more profitable, of course. A few housekeeping things. You will have a little polling pop-ups at the end of each session where you can indicate your interest in what we're showing today. And please put your questions in the chat box and they will be addressed during the session at the end for the Q&A. The agenda for today, we'll be doing some quick company introductions. Then we're going to go straight into Datagate telco billing, the Cognition 360 ConnectWise analytics, and then Voiceover as a service for MSPs with AdvantageIVR. Then, of course, the questions and answers. So we got a pretty packed hour or so here. Our speakers today are from Datagate, Mark Lovies, who's the CEO, from Cognition 360, Ken Davis, the president, and from AdvantageIVR, Donna Renee, who's the founder. So with that, let's go into our first session. Our first presenter today is Mark Lovies and his colleague, liston.pinto. Datagate provides an automated SaaS solution for billing for MSPs. It's integrated to the major PSAs, ConnectWise and Autotask, and to the major accounting systems too, including Xero, QuickBooks, and MYOB. So with that, Mark, let me hand it over to you and Liston.
Thank you, Greg. It's great to be presenting from the part of the world that we started from. Good to be Australia and New Zealand bound again. So with me today, I have Liston.Pinto, who's our sales manager for the Australian and New Zealand region. Hi, Liston. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Good, thank you, Mark. Yeah, it's good to be here.
How are things going in your region?
Oh, super busy. I mean, what I am hearing from MSPs is that there's never been a better time to get into telco reselling. And with sort of COVID, we've seen tremendous increase in the telco usage going up. So yeah, good sort of time to be in the telco business.
Excellent. Great to have you on the call with us too, Liston. Thank you. And so really, Datagate is a telecom billing solution that's designed specifically for managed service providers and telco providers. We have a laser sharp focus on this particular market, and we do so by integrating with the software that these companies use. So that is the complete focus of Datagate. We're not like other billing systems that try and do everything. We focus on this market and this market alone, that managed service providers. And our customers, our clients are seeing tremendous growth in this area, as Liston said, over our entire international customer base. Last year, 12-month period for customers that have been with us the whole 12 months. Throughout the world, they grew an average of 33%. The revenue went up despite the COVID problems in the world. The telecom revenue is reliably going up and up and up, and we're seeing that MSPs actually really win in this space because they know their customers a lot better than the big telcos do. So it's a really winning formula for telecom providers, MSPs. So what we do at Datagate is we enable the MSPs, our clients, to work with any telecom provider. So we work with all the big telecom platforms. We can work with all the big wholesale providers, the Telstras, the Sparks, the big guys, or the smaller wholesale providers as well. We can enable you to deal with any combination of them, negotiate, get the best deals with the best suppliers. We support all the pricing plans that the big telecom providers use, all the plans that are common in the industry, such as international call rating, bundling, buckets of minutes, overages, all the types of plans that you'll see on a phone bill. Our system integrates with all the software, as I mentioned, that's important to managed service providers, including ConnectWise Manage, Cognition 360 that you'll hear about later on this presentation, Connect Booster, QuickBooks, Xero, MYOB, everything that that is important to the world of the MSP. And our solution is very scalable. Runs on the Microsoft Azure environment, and we can service from very small customers right up to very, very large customers with large customer bases. So we're designed to grow with the MSP business. And growing is really what they do. So this diagram we call our 30,000-foot view. It just shows how Datagate sits in with other packages that the MSP uses. So starting over in the left-hand corner, this is the telecom environment. It may be the wholesale telecom provider, or it could be the PABX. It's the source of the call detail records that we collect throughout the month, and we validate those call records. We check that we've got a pricing plan set up for all the calls that are going through. We check that we recognize the phone numbers involved, the DDIs. We check that the call is happening within the time range that we're expecting, which is after we've provisioned the service or before it's been terminated. So all these things get checked throughout the month. So when it comes time to do the billing at the end of the month, just a matter of clicking a few mouse clicks, that starts the process where we go through looking at all the pricing plans. As I mentioned, all the plans that you see in the telecom industry, generate all those invoices very quickly, and then we enable the user to view them if they want to view them. And that often depends on how many customers they have. If they're dealing with thousands of customers, they may not be so inclined to view them all. If they're doing a small number, they can certainly have a look at the invoices first and then send them out in bulk via email as a PDF attachment. We also enable the customization of the invoices to look exactly how you want them to look, with obviously the MSP branding and the different sections of the invoice. So then once the invoice has been set out, it can then be passed in back to the other back office solutions like ConnectWise Manage, which is very, very popular in the MSP world. So it goes in as a miscellaneous invoice into the ConnectWise system, where it can be seen by all the technicians that are using ConnectWise. Also, it can be seen by all the software that's plugged into ConnectWise. So it offers all sorts of powerful possibilities. And of course, Cognition 360 you're about to see also plugs into ConnectWise Manage, and that's sort of part of how we can be seen in the cognition analysis. Also, we can read from ConnectWise Agreement. So if the MSP prefers to just work through ConnectWise, they can, and they can set up ConnectWise agreements where they set up all the pricing information for a customer for the recurring charges, and then Datagate can read from that and combine with the calling information that we receive from the telecom environment. We can produce the invoice, and then after it's been sent to the customer, put it back into ConnectWise. So we're really taking over the specialized task of the telecom bill and leaving maybe the regular MSP billing or IT billing for the ConnectWise system to do. And then from there, the invoice not only can be seen by all the users, it can also be passed through to the accounting system using the same process that ConnectWise passes the invoices back to the accounting system. So we also synchronize our customer accounts with ConnectWise, so you do not have to enter into both systems the customer details. Now that I've talked a lot about ConnectWise, but we can also connect directly into the accounting system, which is also quite popular with MSPs. If they're not using ConnectWise or another PSA system, they can integrate directly into Xero or QuickBooks or MYOB and pass invoices there and synchronize customer accounts as well. So I guess once the invoices are back in the accounting system, you can then enable customers to pay those invoices, and Datagate does offer a customer-facing portal that's under the MSP's domain name and looks like part of the MSP's infrastructure, where the customer can log in and they can see the invoices and they can elect to pay them. And we support payment systems like Stripe and authorize.net, so that these payments can be automatically sent through to the accounting system and updating ConnectWise, etc. So you see that the design of Datagate is really to fit into this sort of ecosystem of solutions, and we sit it nicely beside the other solutions. We have a strategy called "Stay in Our Lane," and that means we're not trying to replace the accounting systems or the PSA systems, like ConnectWise or Autotask. we're designed to sit next to them and complement them, and this is, we're finding very, very popular with the managed service provider and telecom provider audience, because so many of these companies are using this other software, and it enables us to plug in nicely to the existing system, and they don't have to change all their processes and that sort of thing. So stay in our lane, and it's actually working very, very well for us. So Datagate is designed, it's a SaaS product. It runs on a browser. The user interface is very simple, modern, and it follows very much the rules of the modern cloud-based software, very Microsoft sort of interface, very similar to the way products like ConnectWise work. So generally MSPs find it very easy to use. And we're looking to add further integrations to our product to make it more and more relevant to our audience. And so we're starting to connect with some of the PBX environments that are common to our MSP audience. And NetSapiens is one that we're doing a direct integration to, because we have so many customers using NetSapien switches. We're also later this year, we're releasing a set of public APIs to enable Datagate to be integrated to all sorts of telecom software and other platforms and systems. And we're also doing another major integration to AutoTask, which is an alternative to the ConnectWise product line, and that'll be available in the market early in 2021. So these are things we're working on right now, and everything we do is very aligned to the managed service provider market. And we service this market internationally, and of course Australia and New Zealand is where it all started from. So we're offering a special offer to everybody that's on this webinar. If they do want to go ahead with a Datagate system, we'll 30% off the implementation charge. So it's a regular charge is $1,000, well, between $1,000 and $2,000, and so depending on the complexity of the integration work that we do. So 30% discount if you say that you are on this webinar. So thank you. It's great to be presenting here again in this region. And with that, I'd like to hand back to Greg. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Mark and Liston. You know, what I really love about Datagate too, when I look back on it, and watching Mark present this always gets me excited about it. It really does provide you a system that I think it's really powerful, obviously, but it's also very intuitive. And it makes it easier to get customers going, get you guys going. It's not like rocket science. It's something designed to be very user-friendly. And they automate the hard parts so that you can really focus on your business. And I think that's what's really important. Our next presenter is Ken Davis of Cognition 360. When I think about what Cognition 360 does, I think back on a book by the author T.S. Eliot, where he says, "Where is all the knowledge we lost with information?" And I think that's what we're all dealing with. We need a lot more knowledge out of all this stuff we've got. And Ken's the guy that can help you get it. He's been you guys. He has been an MSP. He's been doing this for a long time. And he realized you can't just take somebody else's tool and do it. You really need something designed for you guys, by you guys, so that it does exactly what an MSP needs to do. So that's what he has done. He's come from the inside. He built a tool that he could use. So with Ken, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Greg, and hi, everyone. As Mark outlined earlier, Telco is a great revenue growth opportunity for MSPs, and we're certainly seeing that within our partner base. But it's also important that it's also profitable, and we're certainly seeing with our partners gross profit margins in the 60 to 80% range. I mean, it can be a very good profitable revenue stream. But what we're going to show you today is really how to stay on top of that profit. And as Greg mentioned, I built my own MSP and was lucky enough to grow it to over 170 staff before selling it by trade sale. And on that journey, I learned the importance of having data you can trust and making fact-based decisions. So hence Cognition. And Cognition is a unique next-level analytics solution. And it's using technology that wasn't really available even 2 and 3 years ago. And typically what we're seeing with our customers that bring Cognition on is that they're seeing a increase in profit of between 10 and 30% within the first year, and some of them significantly more than that. We're going to do a live demo today to show the power of cognition, and this is the problem that we're going to be focusing on. And this is really about how to get visibility into the true agreement and customer profitability. And the solution to this, of course, is to use the next level analytics. And we're going to go in and I'm going to do a live demo of that to show you how we can use Ocean. So I'm just swapping over to the demonstration, and what we have here is we're using Power BI as our presentation layer, and if you can imagine, one of the hard things that we've done is we transform ConnectWise data into a format, into a data warehouse, into a format that makes it easily accessible. And Datagate integrates into ConnectWise, and what we're doing here is we're showing the power of having all that data together, some of the types of analytics that we can get. And what we can see here is we've got the agreement types. This is a typical Power BI user interface. So we've got the typical Power BI features. So we can just click on this agreement and it will resort here. We can reorder the columns just by clicking on the columns at the top. We can export to Excel. We can set up thresholds so that we get alerts and so on, just standard Power BI features. But because it's sitting on top of a data warehouse, what we can also do is we can drill down into individual tickets and or drill down to the next level of detail that you need. So we can see what we're doing here is we're showing some of the agreement types, and these are the voice or the telco agreement types. And we can see in this demo data set, there are 77 agreements or customers with that, and the average margin that we're achieving. We can also include in the full cognition your other agreement types, but we're just focusing on, in this demonstration, the telco agreement types. We can just go to the next level down, if you like, and have a look at what we call the more detail on each of the agreements. So I'm just going to choose this example here, click speed, as one example. This customer, if you like, has this type of voice as a service agreement. We can see what the current MRR value is, the date range. We're looking at the last couple of months here. And what we can do is we can just right click the hard cost, drill through down into the next level, and we can look at the costs. And here we can see the costs that are coming through from Datagate in terms of what the telco costs are against that agreement. And part of the power of what we're doing here is we're starting to combine that with the labor which is being put against that agreement. So the service requests and the incidents that are occurring and the time that you're spending against that customer, against that agreement, to look at the true profitability of that agreement. And what we also have is some algorithms that are calculating what are the target hours. So how many hours do we expect to spend supporting this agreement to make our desired profit level? And we can see down here the graph showing what our target hours are, and the green line being our actual hours. And we can see over the last few months there's been quite a bit of fluctuation in that, and here we're seeing it for the last few weeks. So what you can do is, the key to maintaining or improving the profitability is when you're starting to get spikes, being able to, what you can do is just right mouse click, and then you can drill through into the ticket labor. And if we're just looking at the labor in September, we can see the who are the people that have been working on, how many tickets came in, what the time was. There's a link there. If we want to, we can click on that link and it will pop the ticket open in ConnectWise, so we can drill down to the individual ticket. So we can quickly identify what's causing what the incidents and service requests are coming in for that customer. And what we've seen is we can set this up so that we can get notified as soon as we are starting to burn more time on an agreement than what we would expect or what we'd like, and identify and drill in to see what's happening. And we've seen with customers, they've been able to increase their agreement profitability by, and some of them, over 10%. And if you're doing 2 or 3 million a year in agreements, and that's 200,000 or 300,000 straight on the bottom line. Just some other views in terms of agreement profitability. We can go down and look at the effective rate. So we're just looking at these agreement types. And what we can see here is this is calculating the amount of hours that we're spending against the agreement. So what's our effective hourly rate? So these are the top customers, the ones we really need to look after. And then these ones here are the ones that our effective rates are looking quite low, and those are ones that we need to delve into in more detail to see what's going on, why we're not making the profit there that we should be. Another view that we have is the margin review, and what this does is this just shows the margin on the agreements over time, and it's color coded so that we can see which ones are reaching the level that we would like. These ones down here. But if I just go along to this customer here, we can just say what happened back in August. We lost money in August. We can drill through. We can look at the labor or the costs in the agreement that came through. We can see who are the techs that worked on that and support. We can look at more detail on that particular ticket, if you like, to see who worked on it or the history of that ticket. So this just enables a way to be able to manage and quickly identify where you need to focus in terms of improving agreement profitability. And we've seen dramatic improvements in agreement profitability, so starting to use this next level analytics. And this also lends itself to looking at the overall customer profitability, and that can be quite important for MSPs in terms of improving the quality of your business. And we also have algorithms and so on that enable us to help with the planning of resource planning. So as we're bringing on more agreements, how much resource is going to be required, etc. So that was just a quick taste of Cognition 360 in action, showing some of this next level analytics. So that concludes the live demo. And for webinar attendees, we're making this special offer. Everything I've showed you, free for 30 days, and then it's just $100 per month for what I've showed you in terms of this agreement profitability for the Datagate agreements, and it's just a month-to-month commitment. And the reason that we're making this special offer, of course, is that hopefully you upgrade to the full Cognition, and that's available from $299 per month. So the full Cognition covers all these areas, and we're doing things like we're storing the ticket life cycle of every ticket, so that we know what happens to every ticket through every stage of its life. And we've also analyzed over 70 million time entries on ConnectWise tickets. So we have a number of best practice metrics, and these can be helpful in identifying which areas to focus on in your business. So this new next level analytics can be quite a game changer. We've seen dramatic improvements in many MSPs businesses. So thank you. That's all from me. Turn to the live demo, and I'll hand back to you, Greg.
Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. You know, when I watch Ken present this product, it makes me think about the current situation we're in today. Managing and running a business is tough in normal times, and we're certainly not in normal times. So having the tools and having the information and the data that he can provide through this tool, it's not going to be easy to run a business in these times, but this is going to give you the data you need to do it right. And it's going to help you on good days. It's certainly going to help you in these days. So it's a fantastic product. It turns the information into usable knowledge, and I think that's the most important thing. The old saying that we're drowning in information and starving for knowledge. Well, he's the guy that's feeding you the knowledge, and if you use it right, it'll make your life a lot better. So thanks, Ken. Great job. Our next presenter is Donna Renee with AdvantageIVR. And I really enjoy this part. You guys have seen some good products here today, really great products with Datagate, and with Cognition 360. So that's all the stuff that you do to take care of your clients, to run your business and that sort of thing. But that doesn't matter if people don't realize how good you are. You've got to sound as good as you are. You've got to look as good as you are. And that's what Donna can help you with. It takes that you're doing a great job, but now people are going to see that you're doing a good job. That's important too. It's all your presence. She's going to help you sound and appear like you should at the professional level that you guys are working hard to be. And that's very exciting. Plus, she's going to talk about some new exciting things with video production. So with that, Donna, take it away.
Thank you, Greg. It is an honor indeed to be here today. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us. I do have some exciting things to share with you. My clicker isn't clicking. Don't you hate it when that happens? Okay, there we go. You've heard the expression, impressions are everything, or some people say perception is everything. My seed that I want to plant today is that there will be no more phone text voicing the greetings on cutover day. We just don't have to do that anymore. There's a better way with better outcomes. The saying, a picture paints 1,000 words, or seeing is believing. Well, I really believe that hearing is believing. So I have a couple of samples that I want to play for you. One is what I call the DIY sample. This is a phone tech doing the recording on an OBGYN clinic. And then the other one is the professional of the exact same script, but done by a professional. Now, I do have a story about how this came about, but I'll share that with you a little bit later on in the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and get things ready to play these samples for you on my own computer here so you can hear. Okay, this is the DIY greeting at the OBGYN clinic.
We're calling OBGYN.
Oh, I'm going to stop it for a second. It sounds really halting, really choppy. That is because this is the actual recording that was on the client's phone, and I had to delete all of the identifying information to keep it private. So that's why it sounds so choppy. Here we go.
Office of Donna. Office is located at 3400 Building C, Suite 475, Georgia, which is located at the north side of Building C. Our fax number is 1772. If this is an emergency, please call 911.
Okay, there you go. That was the phone tech on cutover day. This is the exact same script, also still choppy, because again, it was the real thing that went live, and I cut out the identifying information. This is the professional.
Thank you for calling OBGYN. If you're in labor or are from a doctor's office, press 0. For all other medical emergencies, hang up and dial 911. For all other callers, let's get you to the right person. To schedule an appointment, press 1. To refill a prescription, press 2. To speak to a nurse, press 3.
And there you have it. So I'm sure that you could all definitely hear the difference about what was perceived to be the reality of which would leave the caller with a more warm, fuzzy feeling and, more importantly, trusting that OBGYN. I have a couple of stories that I want to share with you. Jim Lumpkin, he's now retired, but he used to be the CEO of this credit union. And he approached me one day. He said, Donna, you have got to help me. I called into my office today, and literally I heard no fewer than 5 different voices as I made my way through the phone tree, getting to the person I wanted to talk to. He's like, oh my gosh, it made me feel like that the right hand does not know what the left hand is doing within my company, and it makes me look bad as a leader. Can you help me? I'm like, of course, Jim, that's what I do. So I recorded everything, soup to nuts, for that credit union, and he felt good about his company simply because, I mean, what he was doing was great, but just because of how it was represented with the phone caller experience, he felt really good about it, that public outshowing. Bob Bascom is my client he owns Charleston Telecom. He called me one day and he said, Donna, I have got to tell you, thank you, because you got me a new client. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So he had hired me to do the auto-attendant greetings for a new client that he was doing, a new install. I did them, and that was that. So he calls me a few weeks after this to tell me this whole story. This client that I did the greetings for, they'd been in business for several years. After the phones were cut over and Bob's phones were up and running, one of their clients that had been dealing with him for years called in and heard the new auto-attendant greeting. Happened to be me, but heard the new greetings and like, oh my gosh, these guys are great. Wanted to get Bob's information. They did, and ended up switching phone providers. So Bob got this new client. So he's calling me, telling me this story, going, Donna, you've got to hear the backstory. This client that I signed on, they already had VoIP service. They already had a telecom that could do exactly what I could do. The only difference was they had a phone tech voice their auto-attendant greetings, and I hired you. So literally, just going that extra step and having professionally recorded auto-attendant greetings can earn you more business. I just love that story. So the phone is the most overlooked customer contact point that's out there. So we suggest don't skimp. The tendency is to want to do this, hence why telecoms forever and a day, telcos, excuse me, just have the phone tech do the voicing on cutover day because they don't think about it. It's the last thing on the list. Oh yeah, so who's going to do this? So don't do that anymore, because we as people, we're taking in data from all different sources all day long, and we're making decisions based upon that data that we intake. So perception really is reality. So let's give them something professional to make their opinions from. AdvantageIVR, who are we? Well, we're professional voice talent. We have decades of experience literally with working with these international brands, Maserati, Alfa Romeo. Looks like we do a lot of cars, don't we? ESPN, NASCAR, we're all over the board, even MyPillow. The greatest thing that we bring to the table, I think, is knowing what to say, how to say it, best practices, and the most valuable, I think, is what not to do. Remember the DIY example that I let you listen to? We would have counseled this client had they come to us before they did that. We would have first told them, do not have a male voice doing the auto-attendant greetings at an OBGYN clinic. That does not leave your patients with a warm, fuzzy feeling. Number two, the message was 1 minute and 38 seconds long. That's way too long. 3, at 58 seconds, they said, if you're a woman in labor, press 0. Let me tell you, if you're a woman in labor, you better give them that 0 out option right up at the front. You'll be in big trouble. It's just little things like that. But however, when it is left to the last minute on cutover day, people aren't giving it the thought and attention it needs. And that's what we do. We bring all this to the table and we help write the scripts. That takes a lot of time, gives you a lot of extra time to focus on your core competencies. We want this to be just as simple as possible. So just a seed, there's different ways to use our product, but one way is to just think about adding 3 greetings into your proposal. We suggest $75, 75 US dollar per greeting. So if you just mark up your proposals by 225 US dollars, it's a win-win, and it's an automatic. You just have the assumptive close, and included with your order is going to be 3 professionally voiced greetings, and away you go from there. Super easy. We have an annual subscription service. We call it VOAAS. Everything is as a service these days, right? In the whole MSP world. So Voiceover as a service is an annual subscription service. What you do is you get credits. They're all 30-second files. You can call them files. You can call them greetings. You can call them credits. It's all the same thing. You get voice recordings, music. You can use them on auto-attendant greetings, even on-hold messages. And what this does is this truly gives you an MRR opportunity, a monthly recurring revenue opportunity. Now, it's too detailed to really go into in depth. So at the end, when the polling comes up, just say, yeah, let me get some more information from you, Donna. We'll really go over it so you understand fully how to turn this into a revenue making model for you. But for $300 US per month, you can have up to 10 30-second credits every month. And you can buy additional credits at just $30 each. So basically, if you look at this, you're buying at $300 US and you're selling at least $750 US. That's 150% ROI, which is awesome. I don't care what part of the world you're in. That's a good margin. If the subscription model doesn't really suit you, because it is an annual agreement, you have a year to use these up, then you can consider doing a bulk buy. You can buy a bank of 100 credits and take 2 years to use them. It's only $3,000 US. So a couple of different ways to look at what we can do. I want you to think about localization. You are in Australia, New Zealand, other parts of the world. Wherever you are, we have voice talents that hail from those locations as well. So you can sound local no matter where you are. Let's say you're in Australia or New Zealand and you want to expand to the UK or to America. AdvantageIVR can make you sound like you're already there. Those are hugely important. One of the things that when you expand is your website address. You want to move from a .au to a .com. Just little things like that. Well, the voice talent hailing from the region where you want to go into, that makes a big deal, big difference. We are also doing video production. We've been voicing videos for years, a couple of decades. We have been writing scripts for videos for quite a long time as well. So we decided, hey, why don't we just do this? We know the industry. We're very well versed in the telco space and the MSP space. Videos are usually expensive. They're between $5,000 to $7,000 US each. Well, we can really reduce that cost for you. We offer 2D and whiteboard animation or motion graphics, full color, fully custom. A 30 seconds is just $2,200 US. So a great savings from between 5,000 to 7,000, which what my competitors do here. We also have a referral partner program, so we want to help you make money. Any business that you refer to us that ends up buying a video from us, we'll give you $100. So not a bad amount of money for just giving us a name. We do have a special offer for you webinar attendees today. We have 30% off our implementation charge if you sign up before December 1st. And remember, this is for the Voiceover as a Service, this monthly recurring revenue opportunity. And I would love to share more with you about it. And I thank you again for your time today. The polling is going to come up and you can just click if you want to know more. Greg, I thank you and back to you.
Thanks, Donna. That's fantastic. And when I listened to Donna talk, I was thinking back, I've been doing international software marketing for 20-some years. And the one thing that I've realized, I've helped a number of companies come into North America, US, and Canada. But when they get over here, one of the key things is you've got to sound local. And that's very important. If you're coming into the US, we love the Australian and the Kiwi accents over here. People really do. We think it's great. But in business, when they call a number and get into your system, they want to deal here. So if you sound here, you sound like you're North American, or if you're in Germany and you sound German, it does make a difference. You're a local company then. They don't see you as being a foreign company, because that perception is extremely important. So I encourage you guys to take a look at this product, talk to Donna. What she's doing is an incredibly valuable service. And the most important thing really is you want to sound as good as you are. You guys spend a lot of money and effort into making you the best company, so it's important to sound like it. So thanks a lot, Donna. We really appreciate it. The next part of our session is Q&A, and this is always the fun part. because I get to beat up on our presenters and ask them tough questions. So we'll start off with a couple of questions that I've got here. For Mark Lovies, if a company doesn't yet use ConnectWise, can Datagate still work and they can add it on later?
Yes, thanks, Greg. Yes, they can. We can work directly into the accounting system, and we have all sorts of file exports. We can export files of all types. We have API integrations into Xero and QuickBooks and MYB. So yes, and the ConnectWise system can certainly be added later.
Okay, great. While I've got you, another question here. Who are the telecom providers you're working with in Australia and New Zealand?
Well, for that one, I'll hand over to Liston. Yeah.
Sure. So we work with a range of telco providers within New Zealand, the likes of Spark, Devoli, Vocus, and a bunch of other ones. Atrox is the other one that we do work with. Where else in Australia? There's again Atrox Communications. There's Vocus, Telstra, AAPD, and a bunch of other PBX providers like 3CX, 8x8. Yeah, those are the ones that I can remember across my head. But again, in total, there are around 40 different providers that we plug into, and within the ANZ region and across the world, it's around over 90 different providers. So yeah, I'm quite sure that the providers that you guys use are ones that we've integrated to or would integrate in the future.
Thanks, Liston. That's great. I'll go ahead and ask I got a couple more questions for Datagate. One of them is, if you get a new customer that comes on board, one of our MSPs on this call comes on board, how long does it take them to go live and actually be doing billing and getting all the value out of the system?
Sure. So once you're on board, we take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to get everything set up, plug into your wholesale feeds, set up your rate cards customers, and do a parallel billing run as well before you're all live and ready to go. So 4 to 6 weeks is what we're looking at.
Hey, thanks. And one real quick question. Can you handle cell phone charges and long distance?
Yes, absolutely. So we can handle all type of calls, bundles as well, and cell phone plans in Datagate. So yeah, in case you're buying a wholesale range of minutes and data and you want to build up your own bundles, you could do that in Datagate as well.
Thanks, that's great. Ken, I got a question or two for you. One question is, can you quantify the profitability improvements achievable with the new Datagate Insights report? That sounds like a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we do is we, as I mentioned before, we have a number of analytics, benchmarks, and metrics. So one of the first things we do, we've got a lot of data, if you like, on industry best practice on the various agreement types in the telco space and the MSP space, but we look at the profitability of each of the agreement types and map that to best practice. And then we can identify which of the agreement types that that may be below where we would like them to be. And we've seen increases, as I mentioned before, of 10% or greater. And the great thing about from agreements is all that improvement in terms of profitability flows straight through to the bottom line.
That sounds great. Yeah, great. If a customer comes on board with you, how long, it's sort of the same question we had for Datagate, how long before they can really start getting value out of the system?
So typically, in terms of the agreements, they can start to get visibility. It works. The Power BI reports and views work right straight out of the box. So with the full cognition, there's over 100 pre-built views. So we're seeing dramatic increases quite quickly, certainly within the first 1 and 2 months.
Okay, great, I appreciate it. Couple of questions here for Donna. I've got a question here is, can they do on-hold messages or just auto-attendant messages?
No, it is definitely both. I am so excited because I kind of feel like we've pioneered a business model that I haven't seen anybody else do, where we take one solution, the voiceover as a service, and the way we've structured it, it works for both auto-attendant greetings and on hold. And so I would be delighted to explain that further to anybody who had more interest. But so the answer is yes, we do both.
Great. And another question I got, what if their greetings are longer? I guess a lot of the standard ones are 30 seconds. What if they really need a longer greeting?
Yes, the credits in our voiceover as a service, you can buy the credits. They're 30-second credits. And so say a greeting is 47 seconds. Well, that's great. We just take 2 credits for that one. Really easy.
Okay, great. Sounds good. I don't see any more questions out there. I'll ask the rest of the team. Have you seen any more questions pop up? If not, we can go on over to the next screen, which is the most important one. It's the Contact Us screen. And thanks guys for spending your time today. We've been going here for a while, and hopefully it's good information. These are the people you can reach out to, and of course all my phones ring at the same time. Of course in the background, just to embarrass me. But yeah, please reach out to Liston, Sue, Donna. Their information is right there. And we will have a final poll at the end. So if you want any follow-ups from Datagate, Cognition 360, or AdvantageIVR, please click right here. We will be having this available on YouTube shortly after the event, probably tomorrow or so. Get a little bit of time, but all of this will be available to you. We're going to send it out to you, and you can take a look at it and share it with your team. But we hope the value that we've provided today is really going to help you guys out, and we appreciate, again, your taking time, and good luck and have a great week. So with that, I think we're pretty much getting you guys out of here a few minutes early. So got the poll up for a few more minutes. Go out there, have a great day, and have a great weekend as well. I keep forgetting you guys are a day closer to it than we are over here in North America, so that's fantastic. So once again, thanks everyone. Thanks to the presenters today too. Great job, guys. And we'll be doing more of these in the future. So looking forward to doing more of these and having you guys join in. Thanks.